private health care system in the world right here in Texas. We'll quit competing with that private community. We'll recognize that that community is the proper place for health care delivery, that a free market provides the highest level of service for the lowest cost to the most people. The government is not the free market. Government-delivered health care is not a free market. It is a monopoly, and it cannot provide efficient, quality care. Right. We have doubled health care spending in Texas. That's moving the ball the wrong direction. We've got the strongest energy sector of any state. We've got to get Washington and Austin out of the way. Let Texas energy providers produce, and we'll have affordable energy, and all Texas will prosper. Yeah. We've got a strong university and public education infrastructure, but no competition. We found no segment, ever, in history where a monopoly provides good service at an affordable price. That's as true in education as it is anywhere else. We've got to be courageous enough to remove some of the sacred walls that we've erected around education and allow competition in public education. I had a conversation recently with a man who's been working on promoting the value of education and learning as a lifelong process, especially in the Latino community, where we see dropout rates in this state in excess of 50%, and that is predicted to continue in a population that today is 35% of our state, that is growing, that in the next 15 to 20 years will be more than 50% of our population. Half our kids are dropping out of school. In 20 years, Texas will have an average 8th grade education if we don't fix public education. I said to that gentleman, I'm very concerned that Texas is soon going to rank at the bottom of the U.S. barrel down with Mississippi. Our economy is going to suffer, businesses are going to leave our state, and he said, no ma'am. If we don't fix public education, we will be Matamoros, Mexico. That's what we're looking at. We have got to allow competition in education, and the sacred walls have got to be torn down. We cannot afford to have the closed-mindedness around that segment of our state as we have had in the last years. And this debate that doesn't move that ball anywhere is not, it is shortchanging our children, and we ought to be ashamed. We've got to allow. Finally, we've got to address illegal immigration. It's hurting everybody, immigrant and citizen. We've got to control our borders. We've got to provide additional resources and support to border sheriffs and local law enforcement. We've got to mobilize the Texas Guard and volunteers. We've got to pass legislation that will stop the incentives. We cannot turn our head and expect the problem to go away. We can't continue to offer free enticements, and that's what we do. We give free health care, we give free education, we allow people to employ people who aren't rightfully here in our country. We turn our face and then we wonder why we haven't fixed the problem. We cannot continue to offer free enticements, to put out bait, and then be frustrated when people take advantage of it. We have got to ensure justice, that we all follow the law, employers, citizens, and visitors alike, and all Texas will prosper. Yes. I'd like to share with you one more story. This past week, I had the opportunity to visit with a man who had recently immigrated here legally from Cuba. I frequently find myself asking the question, what is the difference between a free man and an enslaved man? I think we hear that story about counterfeit money all the time, that bank tellers are trained to know what an authentic dollar looks like so that when they see a fake one, they will recognize that it's not the real thing. I'm not sure how good a job we do training ourselves what freedom looks like. So when someone suggests a good, we see it as a good and don't realize that it really is counterfeit and corrupts freedom. So I said to this man who had grown up in a communist dictatorship, 4 generations on his father's side, 3 on his mother's, if I had taken a picture of you standing on a street in Cuba, and I took a picture of you standing on a street in Texas, what would be the difference between the man living in the communist dictatorship and the man living in the constitutional republic? And he said to me, the man living in Cuba has no dreams. Texas can dream, and we must protect those dreams for our children. It's time for new leadership in Texas. I'm ready to be that leader. I look forward to working with you, and I thank you for your support.